Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is time for us to do a garden tour. It's early May and it's time to show you what's been going on at Kim's Corner Garden. I thought I would get out here really quick because the sky has clouded up on us. Look at that. And more rain is on its way, and that's a good thing in the spring, is to get plenty of rain. But I wanted to get out here and show you everything I got into over the weekend and show you how things have really perked up. The temperatures have improved a little, not a whole lot, just a little. It's about 70 degrees today, just under 70 degrees. But we've had some sun, we've had some good rain, and we've had some decent weather. So I've been able to do quite a few things. And so the first thing I want to show you are my apple trees right here. These apple trees have been here now for about 4 years, and there are tons and tons of baby apples on them. Let me show you. Can y'all see all those apples on this one limb? You might not even be able to see them. It's so dark, but there are a ton of apples, and that's just one limb. And I have several limbs just like that on this tree. And so this hopefully will be the year of apples over here. Now, I always forget what I have planted over here, but there are Fuji. This tree back here is a Sundance. Yeah, my labels are gone, so I can't tell you. I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to tell you what this tree is right here. So these three trees are needed to fertilize each other. So you need different types of trees, and only certain trees will pollinate other trees. So you take the pollen from one and take it to the other. So 3 different trees, but they are needed to fertilize each other. So my blackberries are starting to bloom. And this blackberry right here is not supposed to be here. Y'all, it ran up under this tarp here to this area, and look how thick the stem is. Can y'all see that? That thing is thick, but that's all right. We're just gonna surround these apple trees with grapes. I keep saying grapes, y'all, with blackberries. So there's some blackberries there. Blooms are coming in, looking good. The thing about blackberries, there's promocanes and some other cane. And basically when it gets hard like this right here, you need to pull them out because they're done producing. And then the next year, you're gonna get a green place to come up like this. And usually they won't produce any blackberries. And then when it gets real dark like this the next season, then you'll get the blackberry blooms. I don't remember the name of these blackberries. I will put it up here if I can remember. Oh, here it is. These are thornless blackberries growing in this space right here. And all of my blackberries are thornless. I went ahead and planted up this fire ring right here. Something's been digging in it, but it's been warm enough, and I don't see any cool weather for the next 10 days. But y'all, I live in Southwest Ohio. That can change in 5 minutes. But there's no bad weather for at least 10 days out. I'm already in the first part of May, so I should be good. So I went ahead and planted a few things. I planted teddy bear sunflowers, and here's a picture of it. And I just planted those seeds in the back. They stay about 2 feet tall, and I've never grown sunflowers before. And then in the very front, I planted some lavender. Now, lavender should be perennial. And perennial means that it'll come back every year. So hopefully the lavender will come back every year. The lavender, as well as the herbs right here that are blooming, our little bee families love this kind of stuff. Now these are chives and they're blooming. And this is sage that I cut all the way back. I hacked it back to, to just a couple of inches tall, and it's already coming back, and they bloom very pretty as well. But the little bees will come over here, and then in my mind, they'll go over to those apple trees and get those all pollinated up for me. But I got sage here, I got chives, and I have a thyme area right here. that wasn't looking so great, but I planted one here and one there to try to fill this area out with thyme. And y'all see that right there? I don't know if this is marjoram or oregano, but whatever it is, it's not supposed to be there. But it's growing out the side next to this sage. So if it's oregano, voila, I got an oregano sign. I had a lot of people ask me where I got the signs from, y'all. I just got them from Lowe's. They're nothing special, but I saw them and they were cute, so I picked them up. The potatoes are starting to push up through my little trellising system that I have on here. They're looking good. They're happy. I filled up my little grow bags here. They have potatoes in them as well. I've gotten straw in them, so I don't need to add any more soil to these bags. And I believe those potatoes are getting ready to pop through. This bed is real pretty. Oh, it's real pretty. Y'all, look at this lettuce. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, I didn't grow this one from seed. I picked this one up from a local nursery, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's just called red loose leaf. So I really don't know what it is. I'm going to have to Google it. And this was a bunch of different lettuces growing together, and I picked that up from the local nursery as well. Some of these I grew myself. This is a dynamite. It's kind of like a bib or butter crunch, one of the two. And I believe this is crisp mint. And then I put straw on the back, and I didn't put straw in the front where my onion are because I didn't have much to go around. I went ahead and planted more onion. Yep, I did that, y'all. More onion going down the front of this bed right here. It hasn't even been in a week yet, but it's in there. And y'all, this is the Elsa Craig. Elsa Craig is what it is. And here's a picture of Elsa Craig, y'all. That one gets big. And I left plenty of room in this bed so that they can get nice and big. Now, y'all, if I could ever grow an onion that big, y'all, for real though, I'm sure I can't, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to absolutely keep trying. I also, in these bags right here, I added more soil for both of these bags. And then I went ahead and topped them off with straw as well. And you can see that the potatoes have pushed their way up through the soil. So these bags actually are ready. Now I just need to watch them grow. And I did move them, y'all. Initially last week I said I was going to have them all right here. I changed my mind. I have two here. I got a GreenStalk back there. I moved the other two over here. Here's the box. And nothing has broken through yet on this particular box, so I didn't finish it off with the straw yet. I did another box of potatoes last weekend right there. I did another bag of potatoes right here. And this one right here, that bag of potatoes, this bag of potatoes are my russet potatoes. New variety. Here's a picture of it for you. This came from indoors. This was in the basement, growing in my indoor grow space. I went ahead and got it outside, and maybe we'll get something and maybe not. We'll see. And those are Nicola, and those are from this year's seed potatoes that I purchased. I mean, y'all, there's a lot going on in here, but I'm only showing you things that I worked on or things that are doing much better. Y'all see these two trellises right here? I put this one up, and its twin right beside it. I'm going to have it grow on either side of this bed right here. So this bed is either going to be squash or peppers or something in there. And then I'm going to have something going up the trellis. And then you see I got a GreenStalk right in between the two, so we don't have to worry about shading or anything like that. I got my rolling tomato planter over there ready to receive something. There's nothing in it yet, but I always put tomatoes in there, and usually I'll put 2 tomatoes in there versus just 1. And I'm going to add another one on this side right here, right? It's got to match. It's got to match. So as far as the green stalks over here, all of the green stalks over here are only brown green stalks, trying to get some consistency. This is the only one that's fully planted up. And we did this a while ago, y'all. It is gorgeous. Look at those green lettuce, leaf lettuce is what's on that level there in the top. Something to try to dig that one out. But the rest of these are carrots that are doing nicely in the very top. And then I got onions growing. There's a whole tier of nothing but onion. And then y'all look how these herbs them perked up. This lemon verbena is absolutely gorgeous. And it smells so good. Y'all, I used to get pledge when I was a kid growing up. My mom used to make me do the polishing of the furniture, and we would get the pledge lemon furniture polish or something like that. This lemon verbena is that strong of a lemon smell to me. And I didn't know anything about this particular herb, but I got it now, y'all. We're gonna be having some teas and some soaps and all kinds of other stuff with this lemon verbena. But it is growing beautifully here, and we will be drying it out, y'all. We're not gonna let it go to waste. The rosemary's perking up. I got my pretty rosemary sign on it as well. Chamomile. I've never grown it before, and maybe I shouldn't have put it in this pocket, but this is where it is. And we'll see if we can get it growing, and we will harvest the little flowers off of the top of those. And so it's two of everything, the verbena, the rosemary, and the chamomile. But that GreenStalk is fully planted out, and it's looking absolutely delicious. Now, back over here to this GreenStalk. This GreenStalk's not quite right, y'all. It's not quite right at all. I started moving everything from the indoor grow space outside, hardening it off, getting things ready. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do a 5-tier GreenStalk. I got 5 tiers on my strawberries, which was perfect. But I needed more spaces to grow, and now I need to grow more vertically versus adding more beds. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to go and add another tier to my GreenStalk. But y'all, this GreenStalk is taller than me. I'm 5 feet tall, so what did I do wrong? Yeah, y'all, I did something wrong. Let me show you what I did. You'll notice here, I don't have any gravel down yet. Eventually, I will have gravel, just like the gravel over there. But y'all, I gotta save my money. Everything is getting a little expensive, so I'm just trying to be extra careful this year. So without gravel, I am sitting all the way down below the paver, and then I couldn't get the wheels off of this ultimate spinner, so I put wheels and all on here. So that added another 4 inches or so, and then the 5 tiers. Y'all, we can't leave that like that. Now, I didn't try really hard to get those wheels off, but we're going to be changing that out. We're going to get the wheels off the ultimate spinner. I will absolutely keep the ultimate spinner in place, but the wheels have to come off. And I might get rid of the paver as well, since I don't think I'm going to get the gravel this year, y'all. I just can't. It doesn't feel right to spend money on gravel right now, for me anyway. I did bring this top tier from indoors. You see all these tomatoes, y'all? These are tomatoes from the indoor grow space right here. I need to harvest them. And there's also a pepper or 2 in here from the indoor grow space, and more tomato plants from the indoor grow space. And then this one got a little green leaf somewhere down there on it. But y'all, I can't keep it this tall. And I don't even know if it's stable enough to keep it like that. But we'll fix it this upcoming weekend, just not today. And I added, what did I add in here? I added some more celery. So I got 3 pockets of celery. And then in the very bottom, y'all, I put in the very bottom 2 pockets of, or actually 3 pockets of lavender. Now, I don't know if lavender will come back every year in a GreenStalk, but we're going to give it a try. We got to finish cleaning this one up, but I'm getting it ready for the season. My plan is to put a variety of things over here. Everything from cucumbers to squash to eggplant, right? It's going to be a mix of things over here, because what I'm trying to demonstrate is that you don't have to grow just one thing in a GreenStalk. One 5-tier GreenStalk with 30 pockets can grow 30 different vegetables. Now, I'm not going to put 30 different ones in there, but I'm going to mix it up real good so you can see just how much food you can grow in one GreenStalk this year. That's the plan anyway. And I've been growing these tomatoes right here indoors since probably Christmas, and it's May now, and it is still producing tomatoes. I mean, 6 months later, six months later, and it is still producing tomatoes. Now, these tomatoes right here are called Orange Hack. They are a micro dwarf tomato, and they don't get super tall. They stay nice and short. That's why I figured this tier would work if I wasn't 6 inches above the ground. Let's move on. The last time I reported on this bed, this back here, that's my russet potatoes. And they were barely out of the ground. They've popped up. They're really good now. Everything else in this bed is looking good. And y'all, it is starting to flower. Flowers are coming, which means down below the ground, there's some happiness happening and potatoes are starting to form. I need to go ahead and get my insect cover on here because everything's looking good. I think I got rid of most of the insects, I believe. But these plants are really, really looking good. This Napa cabbage is starting to head up, as well as the one back there. This one's starting to head up, but it's doing something kind of funky there, but it's heading up. And this should be the first bed where I get purple broccoli, cabbage, and then the onion. We'll just have to see. I don't know if it's going to be first, second, or what, but we do have onion in the front. These two green stalks are just waiting on dwarf tomatoes and peppers, but they're not quite ready. But they are hardening off outside already, and I'll show them to you in just a little bit. So by this weekend, y'all, I might be trying to put a few of those summer crops out here. I'll just have to keep watching the weather to see if it's the right thing to do or not. I want to jump in right quick here and share the last part of the main garden area, and I'm having to jump in because I get rained out. So it's a few days later, the rain has ceased, and there were a few areas that I didn't get to show you. So let me show you now. This is my first bed where everything I put in here was some type of root crop. This is my elevated raised bed from Vigo Garden. I have right here on the front, these right here are radishes, and I've harvested all of these radishes except for 2. And then back here are more radishes back here. And y'all, I wasn't that big of a fan of radishes, but apparently I was doing it wrong. I was buying that stuff from the store. Radishes from your garden are absolutely delicious. So we've been cutting them up and adding them to salads and everything else. So we're going to have to replant these 2 squares with more radishes before it gets too warm and I can't grow a radish. But I had 2 squares of, I think, 9 in here. So I only have a few left over here. And these right here are bell. I think is what they're called, cherry bell. And they're kind of big, y'all. These get kind of big. I don't know if you can see it back there, but that's a nice size radish. I have carrots right here. These didn't do so well. And then on top of that, y'all, a squirrel got in there. This is my Rolanka back here. They're looking good. Again, a squirrel got in there and moved some things around, but I think it's going to fill out nicely. I have beets growing right here. None of them are starting to give me a root yet, but those are beets. 1, 2, and 3 squares of beets. And then I have 5 squares of different types of turnip greens. Most of these, I'm growing them for the greens themselves. We like to eat the greens. They just melt right in your mouth, y'all. But I'm growing them for the greens. We've already harvested once, and probably by the weekend, with the amount of rain and the perfect temperatures we've been having for turnip greens, we'll probably get another harvest really soon. Now there is some yellowing here. I probably need to provide a little bit of nutrition in here, probably a liquid fertilizer. But y'all, that's gonna have to wait till the weekend. I'm not doing that right now. But by the weekend, we'll get some liquid fertilizer, actually to everything. Everything needs a liquid fertilizer at this point in time. This next bed right here, y'all, I'm just a couple of weeks out from harvesting rape greens as well. So you can see I got a couple. Well, actually, no, I don't. They're just tiny. So it looks like they're going to be spaced pretty good in here. I thought there weren't any here, but they're tiny. They're there. And then over here, they're tiny. So for the most part, I think I'm going to have a pretty even spread because we just broadcasted those in the bed. We eat rape greens the same way we eat turnip greens. And then over here, I have two different types of carrots. I put Rolanka down on this end, and it's tiny. They're tiny, but they are there. Rolanka's there. I can't say the same thing for the Lila Lu Su, Lila Lu Sang. Lila Lu Sang. These are purple carrots, and there's one or two in here, but they didn't come up as good as the Rolanka. So that's my two elevated raised beds, doing amazing. But y'all, we gotta get some fertilizer to at least this first bed. It was put in several weeks before that second bed. One of the other things I talked about was getting everything outside and hardened off. So I have all of my tomatoes out here now, my peppers, everything's out here. Right here, I got eggplant out here hardening off. I also have this tray right here, y'all. This was from my Let pot system, seed starting system. And y'all, I never up potted. So I got like 4 plants growing in one teeny little bitty cell. And some of them made it, some of them haven't. So we're going to have to take care of that probably this weekend. We get on over to the rest of these. Again, all of these I started indoors. I even have my tomatillos in here. Now, remember I said you got to have, oh, that one don't look so good. The soil is nice and wet. But anyway, for tomatillos, y'all, you have to have at least 2 plants. Looks like there's only 3 now because that one just didn't make it. And then more tomatoes. The peppers are actually turning nice and green. They're super, super happy. Down here, we're moving down here to where I have all the flowers I started inside. So I have impatiens over here. All of these are impatiens. And y'all, they are still way too many in each one. Let's see if I can show you one. You see all of those plants in there? Too many. So when we get ready to put this in the ground, we're going to have to separate them out. So like one container is going to fill multiple pots probably. In the back, I got some coleus. That one's there. That's a new coleus to me. And it's super, super pretty. And then over here, lavender, more coleus, and then a few things for the garden. So there's marigolds and a few zinnias over here. Just a few things. And again, I took my eye off the ball. I lost a few things along the way. Y'all, my travel schedule has been absolutely crazy. And I'm doing everything I can do to keep what's most important to me going. And that's getting the garden started so I have food for this upcoming season. The flowers, yeah, I got some, but not as many as I should have. So let me show you the last area over here. We'll start right here with this. We got the collards in the bottom, and there are different varieties of collards down there. There's Georgia Southern collards, they're Champion, Vats. What else is in here? Green Flash or Flashy Green, what is it called? Green Flash is what it's called. And the top 2 tiers, I started from seeds. Top 3 tiers, excuse me, I started from seeds. And the bottom 2 tiers, I used transplants. Some of these transplants were mine. I grew them indoors. And some of them I picked up at a local nursery because I let mine die, just to be honest with you. Some of the pockets are doing better than others where we started seeds, like this one right here. This is beautiful. It's doing really well. There are 2 in that pocket. There's only 1 in that pocket there, but there are some pockets that don't have any in them. And then there's like this one here that has like 5. So we'll eventually pull some of these out and move them to the empty pockets. So this should stagger the harvest of collard greens coming in for the year. Now, collard greens is one of those things that I got more than enough of. I still have a huge supply in my freezer right now. So I'm not concentrating as heavy on collard greens this year as I have in past years, but I still do need to put some away. I got this area here set up for my sweet potatoes. And I didn't get to do a video on sweet potato slips this year. I just didn't have time. But I took my sweet potatoes and I set them on top of some soil and I watered them. And now they're growing little stems with leaves on them. I'm going to pull those off, put them in water, and I'm going to root them. And those will be my sweet potato slips. I think I got about 5 right now. We're still early May. So if for whatever reason I can't get enough, y'all, I'm going to have to order some or get them from the local nursery. Y'all, it is what it is. Sometimes you just can't do it all yourself. They're going to go right here in that bed, as well as these 2 grow bags that I have set up right here. And that's it. This is the only space I'm going to use for sweet potatoes. And I still probably have 20 or 30 pounds of sweet potatoes indoors from last year because y'all, they were put away so far, we forgot to even bring them upstairs to enjoy. So we've been bringing them up and enjoying them. So they should definitely last us to the fall, when these that I plant here should be ready. Should be about October timing. And the last GreenStalk, which really is my first GreenStalk that I set up this year, is looking amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to walk all the way around it, y'all, because it looks good. I have my celery, lots of lettuce, my parsley. I went ahead and put my Thai basil and holy basil in. That's more Thai down there. That's Thai. It shouldn't be blooming, but it is. I'll have to worry about that later. I was trying to break it off. There we go. I broke it off. Yeah, we don't want that blooming just yet. And then here's some curly parsley. I got signs for all of the oregano that's in this one here. That's the holy basil up there. And I left 3 or 4 spots for my Genovese basil. Here's some oregano right here, looking good. Some more sage down here. Some bib lettuce, butter crunch. What else is down here? More butter crunch. Oh, I know I wanted to show you. You see this one right here? I'm not even sure what this is. I think this is my crisp mint. It's a romaine lettuce. But y'all, I put that lettuce on the bottom level for buttons. My little farm dog is what I like to call Buttons. But it's my almost 4-pound Yorkie. And she found it. She finally found it. So she's been helping herself to some of this lettuce right here. I got a little thing of rosemary that we started indoors, so we didn't have to purchase that. So y'all, oh, and then I started some onion over here. Onion everywhere, remember, everywhere. So this was the first GreenStalk we put in, and you can see there's a little bit of everything in here, y'all. And I need to spend extra time this year and put away more herbs. I usually get a pretty big harvest every 2 years or so because I put so much away, I really don't need any. I still grow it for fresh eating, but I don't always preserve it, like dry it and put it away for the rest of the year. But this year, I have to do that. I didn't do a good job last year. I did some, but I need to do a lot more of everything from oregano to basil, parsley, thyme, everything, sage, everything. I need to do as much as possible, including my verbena, my lemon verbena, which is going to be new this year for me. But we're going to need to do lots and lots of drying of herbs this year. Well, yeah, that's it for the cut in to the video that I started 2 days ago. Now let's get back to the video. More potatoes over here. They're looking good. Didn't really see any blooms on these, but they look good. Nice and healthy. And I haven't had to water anything other than my GreenStalks in about a week, just because we've had perfect rain for our spring season. And I didn't plant this, y'all, but this right here is a seed that fell from pole beans. So these were pole beans from last year that I grew right here. A seed fell and it's starting to grow back. I'm going to let that seed grow because it was super happy right there. But the plan for this year, for this trellis right here that I need to clean up, we're going to put yellow wax beans. I was able to find some pole yellow wax beans, and I'm gonna do yellow wax beans on the trellis this year versus the regular green pole beans that I normally grow here. So I'm super excited about that as well. And we might get to those this upcoming weekend. A couple of weeks ago or last week, whenever I showed you this last, they were still super small, but that spring rain and all the minerals and nutrition that comes with rain, unless you live in a populated city with smog and that kind of stuff. But rain's supposed to be good for your plants, and at least here right now, rain is good for my plants. And they're looking really, really good. So I'm super happy with those. That down there is a cabbage, and it's perking up as well. I don't know why these are going to seed. That is my rhubarb. Yeah, I've never harvested my rhubarb. At least it's happy in this spot and is going straight to seed. If anybody knows anything about rhubarb, please let me know. Because eventually, y'all, I want a rhubarb pie. And this is my pink lemonade blueberry bush. Y'all, I think I killed it when I put it in the ground here. It is not happy at all. It was super happy when it was indoors, but it's not happy now. So I may have killed it, but we'll just have to see in the upcoming weeks. And if I did, it's okay, y'all, because I'll put something else in that spot. I think I showed you my grapes starting to come in, but there's some little grapes growing on this one. Some more down here as well. Little grapes coming in, filling up that space, which is what we want it to do. That little plant has leaves on it. That's a little cabbage down there. And y'all, I got so many onion. Y'all, I'm thinking about trying to put onion down the front right here. I'm thinking about it. I don't know, y'all. There probably isn't enough room, but maybe some flowers. I mean, it's narrow, but it's deep. It goes all the way down into the soil of this particular bed because I used to grow in ground right here. So maybe I'll put some little flowers across the front right here. I don't know, but I need to use any and all space available in my beds. Y'all, look at these big old strawberries. This bed has been growing strawberries in it for, I don't know, probably 5 years, y'all. I mean, forever. We've been growing strawberries in this bed, and they are super, super happy. And when the strawberries put on runners, they come out the bed and down the sides right here. And y'all know I take those runners and I add them to my strawberry GreenStalks that are over there. So I take use of all strawberries. The last time I came over here, I got super excited thinking I had cherries growing over here and it was just blooms. Well, now those blooms have turned into cherries. They're teeny little baby cherries, but there's a cherry or two on here. Now that's my Romeo cherry tree. And Juliet's over there with her one whole cherry on it. There's only one that I see anyway at the moment. There's my one little cherry right there. Blueberries are still doing amazing over here. The best blueberries I have on any one tree. And last year, I grew whatever this plant is right here. I don't know what it is, but I grew it last year. And I planted it around my blueberry bush. And they have seeded in here, as well as in this one here, because I had them around that one. And in some of my GreenStalks over there, and they're coming up. And so I'm going to let them do what they want to do and let them get happy and come up. And that's one less flower I need to worry about. Now, the only thing I'm more concerned about is it going to be invasive and kind of take over? That's my biggest concern. When I see this many of them, I mean, they are everywhere, but I don't see them growing on the ground or anything. So hopefully they are contained. The weather's getting ready to change on me, so I might not get to too much more, but we're going to keep trying. This right here is my pink lady apple tree. There are little bitty apples on this one as well. I don't know if you can see it, but there's 2 little apples on it. And it still has blooms. So there are blooms up there as well. So we might get a few pink ladies this year. Now this is just the second year with this particular apple tree and I'm already getting apples. Now I did buy a larger tree versus buying a bare root tree. I bought an actual apple tree. I think it was already 4 feet tall or 5 feet tall or something like that. So it was already more established. So I should have gotten fruit faster, but this is only the second season for apples on this tree as well as this one right here. And this is really just the first year because I put these in last year for Romeo, or I should say Juliet, and little Romeo over there from a cherry standpoint. And yeah, y'all, I got onion everywhere. Y'all, I'm gonna have to throw this onion away. It's more than I can do anything with. Y'all, here's that flower I was telling you about. I had them in this GreenStalk. Look up here, there they are. They're coming in right here. These flowers are coming in. So hopefully, and there's some coming in down there and right there. And I did have a ton of those flowers and I had them in several pockets. So hopefully they'll stick to those pockets. And if not, we will move them somewhere else. I also brought out one more tier to add to this yellow or lemon GreenStalk. In here I was growing, or I am growing, kale and mustard greens, different varieties. And there's probably a broccoli or two in there as well. And it's starting to rain on my head. We harvested those last weekend. And by the time this weekend gets here, y'all, we're gonna have to harvest these mustard greens again. Look at that. Those mustard greens look good. You can tell Mom harvested it right here. And it's thick and full and needs to be harvested again. On this one right here, you can see she harvested this one, but now this one's nice and big and full. And y'all, those greens, those mixed greens, y'all, they were so good. They melted in your mouth. You didn't even have to chew them. You put them in your mouth and they just melted. They were really, really good. We had mustard greens, turnip greens. I think it was 5 different varieties of turnip greens and 2 different varieties of mustard greens. We mixed them all together and quite delicious. And we had enough to put up for another meal. And so now we will be harvesting them probably about once a week and canning them or even freezing them so that we'll have enough to get through the winter this year. But this top tier came from the indoor grow space. And I had bunching onions growing here. I need to cut them back. Those are bunching onions. But these right here are bulbing onions. I have them in several pockets. And y'all, we were growing cucumbers indoors. You still see they're still hanging on. And there's 1 carrot still hanging on right here. But I'm going to get this top tier cleaned up and we're going to put some more goodies in it to go along with the goodies that are down below. And I also brought out this one here. It was indoors. I had it in my dining room and it was doing what it needed to do. It was giving me tomatoes among other things, but where I had it placed, it was hitting the table because the tomatoes were so big and everything. So I went ahead and brought it outside and we're going to fill it up outside with some goodies. And now the rain is coming. So I'm going to go inside before the camera gets too wet, but at least you got to see almost everything that's growing at Kim's Cozy Corner. And I will bring you back here again real soon so you can keep watching things grow as I'm planting them. So until next time, and I hope there is a next time that you hang out with me at Kim's Cozy Corner Garden. Gotta run, it's raining, y'all.